Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I decided if I was going to come to Indiana Tech, I was going to be a different kind of instructor. I was really going to focus on connecting with students, teaching the students the theory that they needed, and also the practical applications.
Very practically, what that looks like is smaller class sizes. So my class sizes are the 8 to 10 up to maybe 20. And that's backed up with, we have 18 hours of office hours every week. I'm sitting in my office waiting for students to come in to talk about anything. It doesn't just have to be with the classroom.
In the College of Engineering, we have ABET accreditation for mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and biomedical engineering. ABET is the top accrediting board for engineering in the United States and probably in the world.
Another thing that is a very different approach at Indiana Tech, I think, that some other universities, is we try and make sure they have a lot of lab experience in the engineering department. All engineering programs are going to have laboratory courses, but in our laboratory courses we try to get them not just exposure to measurements and exposure to some of the devices that you'll be used, but I like to actually assign projects that are, realistic projects.
Those projects, this project-based learning, help students to work together in a group and be hands-on with the material or the product that they're creating. Engineering students at Indiana Tech to me, stand out because I know that they've had a lot of experiences working in groups, working on projects, doing lab experiments to help them understand the material, and I think that prepares them well for industry.
First thing I'll tell a high school student is study, study, study. Get all the math you can possibly get. I honestly believe that the critical thinking skills you learn in math courses will help you with engineering courses.
The type of knowledge base that students should have coming in, they need to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Those two things are really the essence of engineering. Regardless of flavor, they're going to need to figure out, there's a problem here, how do I solve it? And they need to think critically about that. They need to observe, listen to people, and then kick in those problem-solving skills to solve the problem.
Part of the growth of Indiana Tech has involved an increasing number of international students. So I think if we can expose students to different ideas, different cultures, again, it makes them that much more competitive in the marketplace.
In the Fort Wayne area, we have lots of large companies, BAE Systems, Fort Wayne Metals, General Motors, Raytheon, Harris Corporation, and the list goes on. We have a lot of employers that want our engineering students.
Indiana Tech, I think, continues to serve students even beyond their graduation. We really strive to keep in touch with our alumni on a personal level just to see how they're doing, but then also they want to give back to the university because of the experiences they've had here, so they want to provide opportunities for other students here as well.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Schaefer Center here on the campus of Indiana Tech. The Warriors looking to take a step closer to winning another WAC conference title. They won't necessarily clinch with a win tonight unless Siena Heights were to lose today. Siena Heights is taking on Rochester. Looks like that's scheduled for a 7:30 tip. This game's scheduled to tip off in about 6 minutes. But Indiana Tech is currently sitting at first place in the WAC conference. They are a game ahead of Siena Heights. Tech 16-2 in conference play, Siena Heights 15-3. So Tech, if they win out, or if they win tonight and Siena Heights loses, the Warriors would clinch first place in the WAC conference. Again, if they lose tonight, Siena Heights still has a chance to win the conference title. Siena Heights swept Indiana Tech earlier this season, but the Warriors' opponent tonight is the Wolverines of University of Michigan Dearborn. And U of M-Dearborn comes into this game at a 5-14 conference record on the season so far. Warriors have won 3 straight. Their last loss was to Siena Heights on the road. The last 3 games they have won against Concordia University Ann Arbor, Rochester University, and Aquinas College. And we will pause on the air here, but keep it right here for our upcoming national anthem here at the Schaefer Center. Well, with that, we are just about ready to get things started. And if you are just now joining us, Erica Foy moments ago was recognized for reaching the 1,500 career point mark. She scored 20 points in the most recent game for Indiana Tech. That was against Aquinas on the road, as the Warriors pulled off a sweep of Aquinas up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Well, the Wolverines are here from Dearborn, Michigan, and that's Erica Foy who's set to tip it off. Initially, it was won by the Wolverines. Brianna Hurt knocked it to the backcourt, but Taylor Covington was ready for it. That ball is over the head of Foy and out of bounds. Foy looking to add to her 1,500 career points early on. Boy, what a key contributor Foy has been to these Warriors this season. A number of games where she's averaged double figures. She has been a key cog in the interior for Indiana Tech. Handoff goes to Sienna Smith. She's the leading scorer for the Warriors. That's a 2. She had a toe on the line. And Dearborn, beg your pardon, she's the leading scorer for the Wolverines, not the Warriors. As Covington gets the ball to the middle of the zone, good ball movement. They find Genevieve Decker, and she scores. And Indiana Tech needs to win tonight to have a chance to win the WAC conference outright. They will win it outright if they win out. Only 2 more games left in the regular season. Dearborn turns it over here. And meanwhile, down on the floor, trying to get the number. I think that's Abby Fullerton. Yes, it is. Fullerton number 11, and she comes up a little ginger. Jordan Banks, the sophomore out of Farmington Hills, Michigan, will take her place. Of course, Dearborn, Michigan is home to the Henry Ford Museum and also the Ford F-150 plant. Whitaker fakes the shot. They got Worm in the middle of the zone as they get it back outside to Covington. Pull-up jumper by Foy, and it's too strong. Decker, the offensive board. She's been doing a lot of that lately, and Decker's got the putback. Genevieve Decker with 4 straight points to start the Warrior scoring. Pull-up jumper, that's well contested. Shot wouldn't fall, and that was Decker who brought the closeout. They get it to her in the paint. She'll feed Whitaker on the wing. To the corner for Foy. That ball is tipped. That zone defense allows Michigan Dearborn to force a turnover. Back the other way comes Indian Grissom. Here's Sarah Malik, gives it back outside to Smith. Smith held on to it a long time before she found Banks. Shot clock winding down to 6. Grissom, the kick out. 2 on the shot clock. Smith's 3 doesn't go. And it's Foy who chases down the board for the Warriors. Covington down the floor. That's Whitaker from the corner, short on the 3 ball, and Worm chases it down. An extra possession for Tech. Down the baseline goes Whitaker. Foy steps out. The jumper won't fall. Jordan Banks with a rebound for Dearborn. Indiana Tech comes into this game just 1 game ahead of Siena Heights, and that's dribbled out of bounds by Sarah Malik. But Indiana Tech would have to beat out Siena Heights, obviously record-wise, to win the conference, but also because Siena Heights swept Indiana Tech in the regular season. If they were to win the next 2 games and Tech were to lose 1, I do believe Siena Heights would be the all-out WAC conference championship, but Indiana Tech, if they win out, would clinch the WAC conference. Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Covington can shoot from out there, but she feeds it off. And that floater by Juliana Burris is good, as she's able to score against the zone. Low scoring so far. Indiana Tech leads at 6-2. Driving to the basket is Grissom, and her left-handed shot is good. Indian Grissom, the sophomore out of Detroit. A crossover there by Covington, and she turns it over. Threw it right into the zone to Sarah Malik. Malik flips it up and in. And Dearborn has come back to tie the game. Only down by 4 not too long ago, and Worm tried to avoid the turnover but could not. Kyra Whitaker will get back into the game, and good to see that Abby Fullerton is able to come back on the court. There's Indian Grissom across the timeline. Gets a high screen from Sienna Smith, but it's a moving screen. This is Juliana Burris coming across the timeline. Burris was a starter for Tech early in the season. Seen a lot of minutes off the bench, though. Genevieve Decker off to a great start. She's got 6 points, had an offensive rebound and a contested shot earlier in the game. Of course, that contested shot unfortunately won't go into the stat sheet, but it was a great play nonetheless. There's Foy with the takeaway. It's one of those little things that if you can do them right, it can help your team a great deal as Erica Foy gets to the bucket. Foy with her first points of the night after reaching the 1,500 career point mark against Aquinas in the last game. Contested shot, Whitaker with the closeout, and she'll get the board and come the other way. A little baseball-style pass to Decker, and Worm, oh, there was a lot of contact there. I'm not sure how that wasn't a foul. But either way, it's going to stay Tech ball despite the fact that no foul was called. Inbound goes to Foy. Ball is tipped, comes back to Foy, gets into the paint, and Foy is able to score with the left hand. Foy, a redshirt senior out of Gas City, Indiana. The crossover by Smith. Whitaker trying to take it away. It's a jump ball. The arrow favors Dearborn. Taylor Covington will come into the game for Indiana Tech. And Corinne Smith will make her first entrance of the game. Smith sees most of her minutes off the bench, but she gets a lot of minutes off the bench. And when she's in, she usually cashes in. As we got a little discussion going on. Might be an issue with the clock. They're resetting the shot clock to 18 seconds. Grissom with the inbound to Smith. Feed inside to Lily Miller, and Miller in close, couldn't finish. Covington across court, Whitaker for 3, a little bit off the mark. And the Wolverines come away with the rebound. Not to be confused with the Michigan Wolverines of Ann Arbor. And in transition, Lily Miller scores. Juliana Burris comes across the timeline. Looks like a 3-2 zone here by Michigan Dearborn. They've used a lot of zones so far in this game. But Covington has the look from downtown and buries a 3. It was only a matter of time before Covington hit one. Fullerton gives it up. That's Smith for 3, and Smith's 3 does not go. Remember, we've got doubleheader action for you here at Schaefer Center. Men's basketball between these two schools, Indiana Tech and UM-Dearborn, taking place as soon as this game is all said and done. Baseline drive by Smith, and it's Sienna Smith who gets the takeaway from Corinne, but Covington takes it right back, and Covington puts it home. Taylor Covington just jumped the passing lane like a safety. Leaning in for the shot is Jordan Banks, and it wouldn't fall. And here's Whitaker back the other way. Dish over to Covington. She'll try the three. Oh, it was halfway down. Wolverines come back the other way. Grissom slows it down, goes back outside to Jordan Banks. Banks' three is good. Whitaker wanted the step back. Long pass over to Burris. Extra pass to Whitaker. That might have been blocked. It doesn't matter. Whitaker knocks it down. Well contested, and Whitaker is able to score. Whitaker, the graduate student out of Greensburg, Indiana, went to Greensburg Community High School. As Sienna Smith drives inside, and we're going to get a foul. Appears to be on Whitaker. Wait till we get the official announcement. It is on Whitaker, yes. I found a wet spot there on the floor. He's trying to sop it up with his shoe. Abby Fullerton will put the ball in play for Dearborn. We've got 1:36 left in this game, and now calling for some help from one of the students serving as the, we don't normally call them the grounds crew in basketball. That's usually for outdoor sports like football and baseball, as Bethany Worm comes down with the board there. Of course, NAIA baseball has already gotten underway. NCAA baseball gets underway this week, and I believe we're just about a month away from the World Baseball Classic. As Covington missed that three, trying to point out that Sydney Dixon was running down the floor. Warriors are able to get back to the defender, but the jumper goes for Jordan Banks. It may not quite be baseball weather here in Indiana, but the weather has improved quite a bit. Certainly where it's more comfortable to wear short sleeve shirts underneath your jacket. Traveling the call. Must have been before the pass. That might be what Jesse Biggs is wondering. Sienna Smith across the timeline. She finds Fullerton. Shot clock is still a factor at this point. Banks has hit some big shots in this half, and she missed that one. Right now, just a 1 second differential between shot clock and game clock. Warriors can, in some ways, hold for the final shot, just because of the small difference between shot clock and game clock at this point. Dearborn's zone defense has not made it easy on the Warriors, but they've got a 7-point lead and can add to it before the quarter ends. It's Whitaker around the screen from Foy. Flips it up and draws the foul with 3 on the timer. 4.1 on the game clock, and Whitaker will go to the line to shoot 2. You get Lily Miller for the foul. And Whitaker is 1 of 1 so far on this trip. Make that 2 for 2. That ball goes out of bounds, and the only question is how much time was on the clock when the ball hit the stands. Right now the clock shows 0.2 seconds. Good luck getting a shot off in that amount of time, and it looks like they're not going to change the clock. It's going to be an inbound and a deep shot that does not go from Covington. Well, Indiana Tech with a 9-point lead as we go to the second quarter. You're watching Indiana Tech Warrior Basketball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Ready to begin the second quarter here at the Schaefer Center. Indiana Tech leading 22-13 over UM-Dearborn. The Warriors trying to take a step closer to winning the WAC conference. If they win out, they will accomplish that feat. They've still got Siena Heights chasing them. Siena Heights is just a game behind Indiana Tech so far in the WAC conference standings. However, Siena Heights did sweep the Warriors in the regular season. Warriors made a great come-from-behind effort when Siena Heights came here, but they could not finish the deal. But off to a good start so far against U of M-Dearborn. Erica Foy had the look, but choosing not to shoot at that time. We know Whitaker can knock him down. She finds Covington. Looks like the Wolverines have gone into a man-to-man as Covington's three doesn't fall. So far, just two made threes for the Warriors. And the Wolverines with an open door here. A left-handed shot that rolls off. It was Lily Miller who took it. And Whitaker comes back the other way. Decker sets the screen for Whitaker. Whitaker with a step back. It's a two if it goes. It's too strong. Miller has the board for Dearborn. Across the timeline goes Smith. The handoff to Sydney Dixon. Dixon into the paint. Blocked! It's Whitaker. I beg your pardon, it was not Whitaker, it was Decker. Genevieve Decker has been so active in this game with scoring, yes, but also with her defense and her rebounding. And there she is to catch the inbound. Went up high to get it, too, as Foy is looking for room down the baseline. Rises up and knocks it down. And again, if you're just joining us, Erica Foy was recognized before this game for reaching the 1,500 career point mark. She did that in the Warriors' last game on the road against Aquinas in Grand Rapids. Little step back jumper here by Sydney Dixon, and she banks it in. That's a long two for Sydney Dixon. Foy fakes the shot. They go inside to Worm, and it's blocked. Jordan Banks blocks the shot, and here she comes down the floor. A catch-and-shoot three for Abby Fullerton. No good, but it's Lily Miller who gets the rebound, and she's fouled. Erica Foy called for that foul. Indian Grissom comes back in for UM-Dearborn with 8:01 to go in the second quarter. Miller able to knock it down. Missed the second one, though. I believe that's the first trip to the free throw line for UM-Dearborn as Smith makes the catch across the timeline. Decker finds Smith. They got Worm posting up down low, and yeah, Dearborn has gone back to the man-to-man. Worm, usually good on the inside, couldn't knock that one down. And Foy a little too strong from the outside. Fullerton, the dish, loose ball. Foy takes it away. They find Burris at the top of the key. Foy sets the screen for Covington. Covington's jumper is good. Taylor Covington, the freshman out of Dublin, Ohio, able to knock down the jumper. And I know we're a few months away from this, but Dublin, Ohio is host to the Memorial Golf Tournament, part of the PGA Tour, as Foy gets the takeaway and then gets fouled. Excuse me, it's Worm who gets the takeaway. Bethany Worm out of Westerville, Ohio. Well, the Memorial Tournament may be a ways away, but meanwhile, Brooke Bowers, the head coach for UM-Dearborn, getting an explanation there from the official. She probably thought that it was all ball. Of course, you PGA golf fans probably got to tune in to watch the Phoenix Open here as Bethany Worm knocks down the 3-ball. And that's going to prompt a timeout from Brooke Bowers. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll take one right along with them here on this broadcast of Indiana Tech Warrior basketball.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant.
A 29-16 lead for Indiana Tech. UM-Dearborn was playing a lot of zone in the first quarter. They've gone mostly man here in the second, and Indiana Tech has been able to find some more high-percentage scoring opportunities, and they might get one here with Foy. She's got two right there. A transition bucket, and I beg your pardon, it was Smith who scored it. Sometimes it's hard to tell those two apart from afar. Smith, of course, does such good work for the Warriors when she's in off the bench. Right now, the Wolverines trying to avoid a turnover as Morgan Miller, the freshman out of Canton, Michigan, is able to give it up to Fullerton, and Fullerton uses the glass. Fullerton, a senior out of Chelsea, Michigan, gets on the board for the first time as Smith fakes it and finds Foy. Long pass over to Foy, and Foy with the step back, got it. Foy, a redshirt senior out of Gas City, Michigan. That's about a 45-minute to an hour drive from here in Fort Wayne, give or take. As Indian Grissom looking for help, she finds it. That's Sydney Dixon looking inside, and Foy with the steal. Foy finds Burris. Burris in transition. Burris draws the foul. Much like Taylor Covington, Juliana Burris is a native of Dublin, Ohio. By the way, if you're not familiar with Dublin, Ohio, it's fairly close to Columbus. I do believe it is considered a suburb of Columbus. Home to the Memorial Golf Tournament, the Columbus Zoo, and also the Wendy's headquarters as Corinne Smith fires a 3-ball, and that won't go. Brianna Hurt with the rebound. Indian Grissom across the timeline. She goes for the crossover around the screen from Hurt. Foy and Worm bring the double team, and traveling is called. Brianna Hurt turns it over as both Foy and Worm combine to force it. Burris across the timeline, and looks like Dearborn stuck with a man-to-man. Doesn't matter. Burris blew right by him. Grissom comes across the timeline looking to take on Burris. Burris staying with her the whole way. The three by Banks doesn't go, and Foy's got the board. Here's Whitaker down the floor. Whitaker off the left side, and she's fouled. Not a lot of fouls in this game, just 4 total. 3 on Dearborn, just 1 on Indiana Tech. As Sarah Malik comes into the game. Elzine Zomer will also check in. She's a freshman out of Holland, Michigan, as Whitaker goes to the line, I believe, for the first time. Check that, the second time. Low-scoring night for Whitaker, but her teammates are helping out. But we do have a lot of basketball to be played. Whitaker's now up to 6 points for this game. Goes 2 for 2 on that trip. Here's Grissom. She finds Banks. Calling for it down low is Sarah Malik, working against 2 defenders, and she walked. Again, that double team pays dividends for Indiana Tech. This time they double team them down low in the paint. Burris comes across the timeline. She finds help. And that's Smith at the top of the key. Smith driving. She had Worm there on the block, but it went right through Worm's hands. Wolverines take over as Indian Grissom comes across the timeline. She's picked up by Burris. Driving inside is Banks. Banks with the right hand. Couldn't put it home. Bethany Worms got the board. Zips it up ahead to Smith. Jesse Biggs will get some subs to the scorer's table. Decker and Covington looking to check in at the next stoppage. Smith wants to go baseline. Good defense, though, by Sarah Malik. Whitaker, the cross the baseline pass to Bethany Worm. Excellent teamwork from Whitaker and Worm. Worm was wide open on the opposite block. Malik outside. That's Banks, or excuse me, Grissom. Indian Grissom on the drive, and that's going to be an offensive foul against the Wolverines. Brooke Bowers trying to plead her case. Covington across the screen. Gets away from Worm, but Covington's there to keep it alive. Worm will fire the three. It is short. Banks has the rebound. Drive to the basket by Banks. She kicks it out. Malik for three. It is off the mark, and Worms got the board for the Warriors. We approach the 2-minute mark. Indiana Tech trying to take a step closer to clinching the WAC conference. They can win the conference if they win out, or if they win tonight and Siena Heights loses to Rochester. Whitaker's three doesn't go. Siena Heights and Rochester currently tied record-wise at the top, or for second place rather, in the WAC conference. Banks for three, she hits it. Covington goes down the baseline. Tough catch by Smith, missed the shot. Decker with the offensive board. She'll bring it back outside. She was looking to go up, Brooke Bowers might have been contesting there that it was 3 seconds in the lane. It wasn't called. That's one of those things that sometimes is called, sometimes is not. Decker beats the shot clock but missed it. But the ball did hit the rim, so it's an extra possession for the Warriors. Decker sets the screen for Whitaker. The screen and roll, and she missed the shot. That was beautifully set up. And Decker, who has done so much good for this Warrior team, couldn't cash in that time. Brianna Hurt's jumper on the other end doesn't fall. Down to 33 seconds. There's about an 8-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Warriors not necessarily holding for the final shot here, but looks like they're going to try and drain the shot clock down. It's down to 12 seconds. Down to 4. Whitaker slows it down, has it taken away. Sarah Malik the other way, and Malik scores and gets fouled. The basket will count with 5.2 on the shot, on the game clock, I beg your pardon. That's no good, and it's rebounded by Burris, and Burris gets fouled in transition. There's 3 seconds on the shot clock. And with that being the 15th foul of the quarter, Juliana Burris will go to the free throw line. Burris able to add to the lead for Indiana Tech. Just 3 seconds on the clock. She goes 2 for 2 on this trip. Grissom down the floor. They're going to run out of time. Indiana Tech takes an 18-point lead into halftime over U of M-Dearborn. Tech trying to take a step closer to clinching a WAC conference title. And we will be back in a matter of moments. Give you the live stats for this game and a little recap of what has taken place so far. Warriors leading 41-23. Back in a moment on this broadcast of Indiana Tech women's basketball.
Hi, I'm Paxton, and I'll be your tour guide today. Behind me, we have Pearson Hall. This is one of our freshman dorms on campus. Today, I'll be showing you dorm rooms. Come inside. The only way to get into campus is if you have an ID card, so you'll have to swipe into all the dorms. And then over here, we have an intercom system. So through every dorm, we have these dial buttons within the dorm rooms and then outside. So say you're visiting somebody, you don't live here, you would dial their room number, and then you can actually call their room, and they can unlock the doors to the dorm through the intercom system, and you can talk to them. They can see you through a camera, and they can unlock the doors for you so they don't have to leave the room. It's really nice to have. So right here we just have our main lobby. Every floor has a lobby. In the lobbies we just have TVs and stuff. You can watch movies, play video games. You can hang out with friends, do homework, play card games. It's just a nice little hangout area to have. And then right here, this is what we call our RA office. So every single night there will be an RA in the office. They're just there for your needs if you have any issues with toilets or sinks or anything being clogged. They'll always be in there for your help. If you have questions about anything, you can always come see an RA here. And then over here, we have mailboxes. Every student has a mailbox. They are really small. The only thing they can fit is card-sized items. Throughout campus, you'll see our mail room when you go on your actual tour later on, and that will be in one of our other buildings where you'll receive bigger packages. All right, so here's the laundry room. So in the laundry room, you don't have to save quarters or use quarters. I know it says 25 cents, but it is included with living on campus. And then there's one on every floor and every side of the floor, so there's 2 on every floor in Pearson. So every student has keys to their dorm. And then as you come in, you will see our intercom system right here that I talked about in the entranceway. So this is where you would like unlock the door for visitors, talk to them. And then one really nice thing about it is there is a security guard button right there. So if you were to have somebody like calling your room constantly at like 5 o'clock in the morning because some student forgot their keys, you could actually press the security guard button and it will lock them in that little box that we entered to into the dorm. It'll lock both the outside doors and the inside doors and call security. So it also has a nice safety measure through within your room. You don't even have to leave your room for that. So it's really nice. And then as we enter in this way, you'll see this is the half of our room looks like. So there's this, and then on the other side of the suite, there's a mirrored room that looks exactly like this. The desk, the dressers, and the closets, and all of the drawers and stuff all come with. You can decorate it any way you'd like, and then like mini fridges, TVs, anything like that you would bring here. And then through here we have our bathroom. So then as we come into the bathroom, you'll see that this side of the room has their own sink and toilet, and then as you come through, there's one shower shared between the two rooms, and then this side of the room has their own sink and toilet, and then there's the mirrored room right here. So then they share a little common space out there, and then this is the exact same stuff, and it's all the same. Here we have Calflush. This is our other freshman dorm on campus. It is across the street from main campus. We'll be showing another freshman dorm, the laundry room, and then the hangout lobby area. Come on in. So same thing as Pearson. To get into the dorms, you have to have a swipe card that unlocks and lets you in. All right, and then we have the same intercom system as we do in Pearson, and it runs throughout all of the dorms. And then in here is the lobby area where all the students hang out. We have like a TV so people can hook up like Xboxes or anything like that, DVD players, you can watch movies. I know RA's put on a bunch of activities down here. They do like movie nights with hot chocolate during the winter. We've done like pumpkin carving, and we watch a Halloween movie, and so that's all done down here. And then it's the same thing over here. You can do some studying, you can hang out with friends, you can eat dinner if you want, and like I said, you can hang out with your RA, hang out with your friends, do homework, but follow me to the next part. So same thing as Pearson, every student has keys to their dorm. So when you first walk in, it's different than Pearson where there's no like two mirrored room. It's just one room with two students. The shelves, the desk, the drawers, all of the beds and stuff all come with. And then over here, it's the same for Pearson and Calflush. You can control the air condition and the heat for the room, not the entire dorm, which is so nice because then it's between you and your roommate, not through hundreds of people in one building. And then as we walk over here, you'll see that the sink is outside of the bathroom, which is so nice because obviously if your roommate's showering, you don't have to worry about not being able to brush your teeth or even use the sink or get a drink of water or anything like that. And then as we walk over here, you'll see only two roommates to one bathroom. And then the shelving space. And then instead of Pearson where they have closets, you would have this whole shelving space and hanger area. And then same thing as Pearson, we have the intercom system over here where you can press the security guard button, you can talk to them, and then see them through the camera. Calflush also has mailboxes. They're the same size. They fit card-sized items. And again, if you have any bigger packages, we do have a mailroom on campus. So then through here, this is the laundry room. The difference between Pearson and Calflush is Calflush, there's only one in the whole building and it's on the first floor, whereas Pearson has them on every floor. But it is the same as they are included with living here, so you don't have to use quarters. It's free to the students. And that concludes the tour. Thanks for coming with. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to your counselor. Hope to see you around campus. Go Warriors!
It is halftime here at the Schaefer Center. Indiana Tech leading 41-23 over U of M-Dearborn. And we're going to give you the first half statistics in just a second. Got the live stats for this game. Indiana Tech did trail very briefly in this one, but only 2-0. They have not trailed since then. Leading scorer so far for Michigan Dearborn is Jordan Banks. She's got 8 points. Sarah Malick has 4. Lily Miller has 3. Sydney Dixon has 2, so does Indian Grissom. Sienna Smith also has 2. And Abby Fullerton also has 2. And for the Warriors, their leading scorer for this game so far is Erica Foy. She's got 8 points. Kyra Whitaker has 7, so 2 does Taylor Covington. Genevieve Decker with 6, Juliana Burris with 6, Bethany Worm with 5, and Corinne Smith with 2. Well, very balanced scoring for Indiana Tech. Early on in the game, though, Genevieve Decker was not only getting involved scoring the basketball, but getting involved on the defensive end as well. In fact, she has a blocked shot in the second quarter. In that first quarter, she contested a shot in the paint, and though she did not block it, she did a great job closing out and was able to force the stop and get the ball back for the Warriors. Decker so far in this game has 3 offensive rebounds, all of her rebounds so far of the offensive variety. She was able to score off of one of those offensive rebounds. While we have a chance, we'll go ahead and show that play to you here on our Summit City Sports replay. Foy definitely had a good look there, but Whitaker able to get the board and put it right back up and in. Whitaker has been doing that kind of stuff for a good chunk of the season. Did not start the season as a starter, but has worked her way into the starting lineup as the year has gone on. 41-23 at halftime. We're back in just a moment on this broadcast of Warrior Basketball, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
41-23 in favor of Indiana Tech. Take this time to remind you about what's coming up for Indiana Tech athletics. Right after this game, we've got men's basketball. These same two schools, Michigan-Dearborn versus Indiana Tech, taking the floor at about 8 o'clock here at the Schaefer Center. Then on Saturday, Indiana Tech has got 4 events that they're participating in. The men's lacrosse team plays host to Rockhurst at 1 p.m. on Saturday. That's right, it's lacrosse time already. In fact, I believe the men's lacrosse team has a game a week from Saturday as well. We'll have another basketball doubleheader for you on Saturday as both the Tech women and men's teams take on Lourdes. It's a 1 p.m. start for the women, a 3 p.m. start for the men, and those will be the regular season finales for both teams. Also on Saturday, Indiana Tech takes on Lourdes in men's hockey. So it's a Tech versus Lourdes triple header, so to speak. Of course, that hockey game will take place over at the Parkview Sport 1 Ice House, with Joe Hackers on the call, and even Hunter Sosenheimer will be a part of that one as well. Of course, on Summit City Sports, we also bring you a lot of high school events, and this weekend we've got some SAC games to round out conference play for boys basketball. Concordia at Wayne, Snyder at Southside, and Heritage at New Haven. And you've also got Antwerp taking on Blackhawk Christian. Blackhawk Christian hosting Antwerp. Antwerp is from Ohio. Blackhawk Christian right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And on Saturday, you got Canterbury taking on Heritage at about 7:30. And that's followed by semi-state basketball at Huntington North. The first game, Snyder will take on Fishers, and we'll see who should make it out of that one. Snyder would love to get past Fishers and get to a semi-state championship game in the evening. We will be bringing you the semifinals as well as the semi-state on SummitCitySports.com. We got just over a minute to go before we get the second half underway. Back after this break here on SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Good luck, Tammy.
See you, David.
Things happen. How do you make the unexpected happen? Take the next step with an online degree from Indiana Tech. Start with a visit to one of our 2 new Chicago area enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette. You'll discover a wide range of affordable undergraduate and graduate degrees with flexible class schedules designed to fit your lifestyle and help you earn a degree sooner than you'd expect. Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
We begin the second half. Indiana Tech on top, 41-23 over U of M-Dearborn. Warriors trying to take a step closer to winning the WAC conference. That's traveling. You can tell that from all the way up here. As Brianna Hurt took 3 steps backwards. Whitaker comes across the timeline. It looks like Dearborn's gone back into a zone defense. Like they started out in a 3-2 zone. Had a lot of 3-2 zone throughout the first quarter, but started to go away from it in the second. Shot clock's down to 10. Hit the ball inside to Foy, and Foy is able to spin it home. Indian Grissom across the timeline. She's picked up by Taylor Covington. They switch defenders as that's Fullerton looking to drive on Covington. Shots off the mark. Foy's there for the rebound. They get it to Decker up the floor. Decker finds Worm. Worm is fouled on the shot. She'll go to the line. They called it on Brianna Hurt. Brooke Bowers pleading her case about that last call as Worm will go to the line. She hits the free throw. Second one rims out, and the rebound comes out to number 20, Sienna Smith. Smith held to just 2 points so far in this game. 20 points would be quite impressive. As Fullerton has it go off the hands of Hurt, she's able to save it. Shot clock down to 10. On the drive as Grissom puts it home. Indian Grissom with her first bucket of the second half. Whitaker finds Decker on the baseline. Covington was briefly open. A lot of ball movement against this zone. Had Foy in the middle of the zone. They get it to her. Foy with 10 on the shot clock. Changes direction and missed the shot. Smith comes back the other way for Dearborn. Grissom lost it. Picked up by Malik. Catch and shoot three. That won't go. Covington fighting for the rebound, and she got fouled. Covington zips it inside to Foy. Foy misses, but she's fouled. 3 early fouls against Michigan Dearborn, and this one's going on Abby Fullerton. Kiera Callison comes into the game. She's a sophomore out of Livonia, Michigan. Jordan Banks will also check back in for Dearborn. The first free throw by Foy is good. Foy's the only player in double figures for this game, coming off a game where she scored 20 points against Aquinas and reached 1,500 points for her career. Banks looking for room, has it poked away. Worm going for the steal, and the arrow favors Indiana Tech. The call is a jump ball. Three-two zone here by the Wolverines. Covington has it knocked away. Covington going after it. Ball's knocked out. They're going to say out on Covington. Looked like Jordan Banks knocked it out, but that's not the call in the end. As Indian Grissom gets the inbound with 7:05 to play. Grissom looking to take on Covington. Foul on the floor. And it's on Taylor Covington. That's only Covington's first, and only the first team foul this half against the Warriors. Three ball won't go. It's Foy with the rebound. That was Banks who took the shot, and here comes Covington. Whitaker, for a moment she had space. She'll pull it out. Decker with some space down low, but missed the shot, and the rebound's knocked out to Sarah Malik. Banks looking for room down the baseline. Nothing there. She gets some help from Sienna Smith. Smith's jumper rattles out. It's Whitaker trying to split two defenders, and she does get fouled. Whitaker was in a dangerous spot. Burris comes into the game. She'll take the place of Whitaker for the time being. Indiana Tech with a 21-point lead. I do believe that's their largest of the game so far. One more game left after this one. That one's just barely recovered by Worm. Indiana Tech's last game will be against Lords. It'll be this coming Saturday. Baseline drive by Decker. It's Burris. Juliana Burris puts it in on the baseline. This is Grissom who feeds that one off to Banks. Banks is fouled. It's going to go against the Warriors. That's Worm who's called for the foul. Inbound goes to Callison. Smith around the screen, set by Callison. Foy staying with her the whole way. Shot clock's down to 9. Grissom on the drive. Decker staying with her, but Grissom puts it in right over and beats the shot clock. They get it inside to Decker, and Decker gets fouled. Into the game comes Sydney Dixon for U of M-Dearborn. Genevieve Decker will go to the line. They got a sub at the bench. I think that's Smith at the scorer's table, I mean. And Decker could not hit the free throw. Well, Decker has had some opportunities to score here in the second half, but has yet to cash in. She does get this free throw. Ellie Zolmer comes into the game, freshman out of Holland, Michigan. Of course, U of M-Dearborn shares the same mascot with University of Michigan of Ann Arbor, but it's not the same school. They're both the Wolverines, but they're not the same school. A little crossover there by Grissom, and she puts it in. Inside to Foy, she finds Worm. Little touch shot, and Worm's able to get it to go. Grissom kicks it out. Dixon around the screen. The jumper, no. It's Foy with the rebound. She's fouled from behind. Kiera Callison called for the foul, and Tech gets it back with 4:38 to go in this third quarter. Covington across the timeline finds Burris. Looks like a 2-3 zone this time from the Wolverines as Foy is called for a carry. Whitaker will come in for Worm. And here's Indian Grissom to bring the ball across the timeline for Dearborn. She crosses up Covington, gets it off over Whitaker, but missed, and Covington's got it. Covington finds Burris. Foy with a long pass across court. Whitaker for three. It's short. And the rebound is gathered by Sydney Dixon. Cross court pass to Ella Zoner, I beg your pardon. Callison the screen. It's back outside to Grissom. Grissom to the paint. Left it short. And it's Foy who's got the rebound for Indiana Tech. And they'll come back down the floor, leading by 22. Inside to Foy, she's double teamed. Gets around both defenders, but missed the shot. Foy trying to get it going here in the second half. She and Decker have had some good looks down low, but have not been able to cash in. That's been the case in the second half. They've been such key contributors for the Warriors, especially down in the paint. Dixon finds help. That's Grissom. Shot clock down to 10. Down to 5. Dixon to the paint. Draws a crowd, and it's blocked. Erica Foy with the rejection. Whitaker comes back down the floor. Covington has space but missed the three. Kept alive by Foy, and Burris grabs it and a timeout. 32nd timeout taken by Jesse Biggs. We'll take one right along with him here on this broadcast of Warriors basketball.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan.
Foy against two defenders goes for the turnaround shot and banks it home. Foy had a blocked shot earlier this quarter, as I think it was Banks who was driving into the paint. She just ripped it away from her. That's a loose ball off of Banks' hands, and it's Smith who comes up with the takeaway. Burris across the timeline. Had Smith posting up. They've got Foy in the middle of the zone here. So we approach the final 2 minutes. Whitaker, long three, yes! Cairo Whitaker from way downtown. Second three of the game for Kyra. Callison sets the screen. Into the paint goes Grissom. Three ball. Dixon right back at you. The freshman guard from Warren, Michigan, comes up with a bucket. Wide open is Smith from downtown. She hits one. Corinne Smith knocking it down from beyond the arc. Do have a whistle. The net got stuck on the rim. As Sienna Smith re-enters the game. 1:35 to go in this third quarter. Minute 30 left to play as Grissom comes across the timeline. This is Smith. Steps back, feeds Grissom. Another screen set this time by Callison. That ball's out of bounds. It'll stay with Dearborn. Corner three, too strong, and it's Foy who gets the rebound right in front of Smith. Decker trying to feed Burris. It's off her hands. Grissom comes the other way. Cross-court pass to Dixon. Dixon's three will not go, and Whitaker runs it down. Whitaker 2 on 3. She's going to slow it down and let her teammates get back. Foy sets the screen for her. That ball is knocked away. Sienna Smith one-on-one with Burris. Has it knocked away, but a foul is called. Burris and Smith were in the area. Like Burris was the one who got a hand on the ball, and apparently she got more than just ball. Burris is called for the foul. Only her first, though. Only the third this half. Third this quarter, I should say, against Indiana Tech. Dearborn's committed 5. This will be 2 free throws, meanwhile, for Sienna Smith. I think that's the first free throw shot this half by Dearborn. Smith gets her first, though. She's a sophomore out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. The only player averaging double figures in points per game for this Dearborn team, but Tech has held her to just 4 points so far. Right now there's about a 10-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Bowers just called out, know where the shooter is. Right now Indiana Tech trying to find something against this zone. Shot clock's down to 6. Will it be Burris to take it? It's down to 3. Burris does take it. She missed it, and the Wolverines come up with it. That's Dixon with a desperation heave, and she really didn't need to do that. There's still 4.6 seconds on the clock. There was 6.5 seconds on the clock when she shot the ball. Warriors could get a shot off here, but they would either need to go quick or probably shoot it from half court. Inbound goes to Whitaker. Whitaker gets across the three-point line or across the half-court line and then banks it in. From behind the volleyball line, Whitaker knocks it down. Kyra Whitaker leaned into it and banked it home. And we will go to the fourth quarter here on this broadcast of Warrior Basketball.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Well, we knew Kyra Whitaker could knock down her threes, but she just hit one from beyond the volleyball line. Just barely inside half court, and while we got a chance, we'll go ahead and show it to you on our Summit City Sports replay. Here it is. Kyra Whitaker with her third three of the game, and this one easily the highest degree of difficulty, and she knocks it down anyway. UM-Dearborn starts off the fourth quarter with the basketball as Dixon lets it fly from three. That won't go. It's Whitaker who rebounds for Tech. Whitaker slows down. For a second there, I thought she was going to let it fly. Maybe she was feeling it after that make from just inside half court. Firing up a three is Smith, and that won't go. Sienna Smith with a rebound for Dearborn. Decker picks her up, but Smith puts it in right over Decker. I've got Smith for just 6 points in this one as Covington gets around the screen. Finds Corinne Smith back on the outside. Whitaker around the screen. Gets it to Covington. Shot clock's down to 10. They find Decker, and Decker had it blocked on the way up. That was blocked by Ellie Zomer. That ball is loose. Grissom kind of lost it on the pass, and then Decker has it taken away by Grissom. Grissom trying to outrun the pack. Warriors do get back defensively. Kendall Anderson going baseline. Turnaround shot won't fall, and it's Worm with the board. Worm has a wide open lane through the paint, no good. Smith, a lot of contact there. They didn't call the foul. Whitaker off the catch and shoot, too strong. Anderson the rebound for Dearborn. Sienna Smith for three, that's short. Rebound comes to Covington. Covington wants to go baseline, instead gives it up to Smith. Back out to Covington. They find Smith on the inside. Smith just gets it up. Count it, and a foul. Corinne Smith drawing the contact. And Corinne will go to the free throw line as Erica Foy checks back in for Indiana Tech. Reminder, Warrior men's basketball comes your way when the women's game is done. They'll take on UM-Dearborn. It's part of our doubleheader action. Actually, the Dearborn men's team got here before the women's game got started. They must have boarded the bus rather early as Sienna Smith was trying to cross up Worm. She gets the ball to Indian Grissom. Grissom is contacted on the shot, and a foul is called. Indian Grissom to shoot the free throws. Missed the first one. 7:27 to go in this fourth quarter. That one spins right out. Foy with a great box out. She's got the board. The lob inside to Worm. Whitaker was thinking about a three, chose not to fire though. Covington down the baseline. Has it tipped and taken away. It's Sydney Dixon with the steal. Grissom guarded by Covington. She finds Sienna Smith. Rather quiet night for Smith in this game, only 6 points so far. She finds Kendall Anderson. Check that, that's Kiera Callison, and Callison was fouled on the way up. They call it on Bethany Worm. And Lainey Steckler will make her first appearance of this game with 6:45 to go in our fourth quarter. Callison couldn't hit that one. One of the Tech fans down there saying no pressure. Last couple times that Dearborn's gone to the free throw line. Worm thought it was going to be Warrior ball, but instead the ball goes to Dearborn. Grissom looking to get it in, and she finds Brianna Hurt. Hurt, kind of an awkward looking shot, wouldn't go. Foul is called. Kiera Callison will go to the line. Kiera Callison at the free throw line, and she could not cash in on that first one. Second one doesn't go either, and it's Smith who wins the rebound battle. Wide open is Lainey Steckler, and she nails a three ball. Lainey Steckler, recently into the game, cashes in. Steckler saw a lot of early action early on in the season. These days getting more late action. As they get the ball to Abby Fullerton, and she gets fouled on the way up. They call it on Genevieve Decker, and that will send Abby Fullerton to the line for Michigan Dearborn. And Fullerton's able to hit that first free throw. Tech taking on U of M-Dearborn in women's and men's basketball today. Men are actually warming up here on the upper level as Whitaker's drive results in no points that time. Indian Grissom down the floor. In the middle of the zone, she's got Brianna Hurt. They get it to her. Hurt with the left hand draws the foul, and the foul's starting to pile up for Indiana Tech. That's their 5th of this 4th quarter. Warriors had largely been able to stay out of foul trouble the first 3 quarters. But now they've put Michigan-Dearborn at the free throw line for 1-1. Although this is technically still on the shot, so this will be 2 free throws either way. Morgan Miller comes into the game. Hurt couldn't get that one to roll in. Second one rims out, and Bree Dawson with the box out for Indiana Tech. Covington from the free throw line, too strong. It's Hurt with the board for Dearborn. And Grissom takes it across the timeline for Dearborn, looking for the blow-by against Dawson and another foul. Going to call that a blocking foul on Dawson. An update from one of the Summit City Sports hockey games. Of course, we here at Summit City Sports bring you these Indiana Tech Warrior games of basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse. The high school hockey game I'm talking about, you got Carroll and the Fort Wayne Vipers. Looks like they're just getting ready to start, so not exactly an update there. The free throw is good to start out for Indian Grissom. Give her 9 points in this game. And she goes 2 for 2. The Warriors have committed fouls on, I believe, the last 4 possessions. Enjoying a large lead, but if there's one thing that Jesse Biggs is not happy about with how this game has gone, it's been the fouls in the 4th quarter. There's something to be happy about as Lainey Steckler hits her second 3 of the ball game. The Carroll grad right here in Fort Wayne with 2 threes coming off the bench. Three ball by Abby Fullerton. That won't go, and it's boarded by Decker. Burris slows it down in transition. Burris leaves it off at the last second. Basket won't go as Decker fights for it, but she dribbled it on the chalk. Grissom will bring the ball across the timeline for Dearborn. She's guarded by Taylor Covington, and she finds Morgan Miller. Miller from beyond the three-point line. That one's short. That was Burris with the box out, or with the contest, rather. Here's Covington quick down the floor. Steckler's going to try again, short that time. That would have been her third 3 of the game since coming off the bench, and we're going to get a timeout, a full timeout, taken by Michigan-Dearborn. And we'll be right back after this break on this broadcast of Warrior Basketball.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Indiana Tech trying to take a step closer to clinching a WAC conference title. So far, so good. And I do believe that in about 9 minutes, Siena Heights will start their game against Rochester. That's who's also battling for the WAC conference title. Now, if applicable, Indiana Tech would get a tiebreaker over Rochester, but not over Siena Heights. Siena Heights swept the Warriors in the regular season, including a win here at Schaefer Center where the Warriors nearly came back from double digits down. Traveling is going to be called here on Dory Javins. Indiana Tech hosts Lourdes this coming Saturday to round out the regular season, and of course the WAC Conference Tournament begins next week. WAC Conference Tournament for men's and women's will begin next week. They find Indian Grissom out there with 7 to shoot. That 3 is no good from Morgan Miller. Ball's tapped around, kept alive, and we're going to get a foul. It's on the Warriors, Dory Javins. Kara Callison at the free throw line, sophomore out of Livonia, Michigan. And Callison could not hit that one. Men's basketball to follow the women. The Warrior men's team is down the bottom of the stairs right on the baseline to our left. As Callison's able to hit that second one. Warriors have committed a lot more fouls this fourth quarter than they have for most of the game. Steckler was thinking about another 3. Would have been her 3rd. Javins, the pull-up jumper, that's short. Battle for the board. It's won by the Warriors. Chased down by Bree Dawson. Pull-up jumper, Javins, no good. Callison the board. To set the screen is Miller. Miller from downtown tried to bank it home to no avail. It's Javins on the run out. Javins quick down the floor, dishes to the corner, and Steckler will let it fly. It comes up short. Steckler almost collected her own miss. And then it's poked from behind by Javins. Dory Javins gets the takeaway and then finds Stecker. They lob it inside. Shot won't go. That was Lauren Barton with the miss. And Dearborn takes over and a timeout called with 1:52 to go. Brooke Bowers just trying to get a sub into the game. Brianna Hurt will come in. Will count as a timeout. This is Abby Fullerton, the inbound for Dearborn. Three ball. Abby Fullerton drains it. Amaris Lowry, the sophomore out of Dublin, Ohio, into the game for Indiana Tech. Steckler goes inside. Dawson, one-on-one, left it short. Offensive board kept alive. Check that. That was Dawson who got the board. It was Barton who missed. Dawson's able to score. Jenna McFarland will enter the game, a redshirt freshman from Richmond, Indiana. They get Brianna Hurt for the foul. Only the second team foul this quarter on Dearborn. Dearborn has committed more fouls throughout the game than Tech has, but in this fourth quarter, it's been a lot different. And another timeout called by Brooke Bowers. Well, they take a timeout. We'll also take one. You're watching Indiana Tech Warrior basketball on SummitCitySports.com.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
(72-44) in favor of Indiana Tech as they try to take a step closer to winning a WAC Conference regular season title. Came into today just a game ahead of Siena Heights. They'll remain ahead of Siena Heights with the win today and look to remain ahead of Siena Heights, which will happen if they can beat Lourdes on Saturday. Offensive board by Brianna Hurt. Dory Javens across the timeline. She finds Steckler. Steckler's going to fire a three. Too strong, kept alive by Lowry. Outside to Steckler, and now Indiana Tech might just be in a position to hold the ball. They're certainly in position to hold the ball, but they'll hold for the final shot. Well, not the final shot, but after running the shot clock down to 5, they get the shot off and draw the foul. Indian Grissom called for the foul. At least I thought they said 5. And they did indeed. It's Grissom's third as Dory Javens goes to the free throw line and connects on the first one. Javens missed the second one, but it's going to go down as a win for the Warriors. They'll improve to 17-2 in conference play as Grissom comes across the timeline. Fuller with a lob inside, nearly taken away. Grissom lets it fly, comes up short, and that's the end of the ball game. The Warriors win 73-46. Well, for our Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game, we're going to recognize Erica Foy. Foy was the leading scorer, very active inside the paint, and also a good defensive game today as well. Erica Foy, your Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game. Indiana Tech wins 73-46. They improve to 17-2 in conference play. They remain at first place in the WAC conference, and they'll look to remain there with a win against Lourdes this coming Saturday. Or if Siena Heights were to lose tonight, the Warriors would clinch a WAC Conference championship. Regular season championship, that is. The tournament is still to come. It starts next week. It starts next week for the girls and the boys. But for the women's game, Indiana Tech a winner, 73-46, with one more game left in the regular season. Men's basketball is yet to come between Indiana Tech and Michigan Dearborn. For now, we will take a break. We'll stop this broadcast, but we'll get the next one started, and we hope that you'll join us in about 20 minutes for the start of Indiana Tech and Michigan Dearborn men's basketball. Until then, for my cameraman Ahmad Williams, this is Thad Goff. See you in just about half an hour.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Good luck, Tammy.
See you, David.
Things happen. How do you make the unexpected happen? Take the next step with an online degree from Indiana Tech. Start with a visit to one of our 2 new Chicago area enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette. You'll discover a wide range of affordable undergraduate and graduate degrees with flexible class schedules designed to fit your lifestyle and help you earn a degree sooner than you'd expect. Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.